Time to head over.
Oh yeah, finally.
We're seeing some sapphires.
Establishing Shot ist eingegrindet. Time to reappear.
This is going to be interesting because we
Und Emerald Sapphire Mirror Match. Da haben wir jetzt so Zongo drauf gewartet. Na, hervorragend. Vielen Dank.
Because the way Sapphire decks just ramp and ramp and ramp, they're enormous inkwells. And you get things like T-Po, I mean, admittedly that's been inked, but T-Po already just gets you started with putting stuff straight into the inkwell. You could just get into a malicious, mean and scary, and also jump straight in to all sorts of other combinations with that Prince Philip. It's just amazing how much you can do with just ramping up the amount of ink you've got and getting into that really, really quickly. So let's see exactly how this happens. Immediately going in with a Basil, Practice Detective for Robert, and then a Clarabelle for Will. But then we get the T-Po. That's immediately going to start filling up that inkwell for Robert.
Get that ramp going. And then, of course, we've got... Yeah, I'm excited to see, I assume, the new Cinderella, which also really helps with that ramp and has been, I think, a really interesting new addition to the meta, the Cinderella Dream Come True, who of course, it is, you know, if you've played a princess character this turn, you may put a card from your hand into the inkwell face down and draw a card, which it can be very, very powerful, but I think it'll be interesting to see. I think I saw a Clarabelle there in Robert's hand.
We see a Vision of the Future coming down there as well. We do see the Sail the Azurite Seas and a Clarabelle.
And a Clarabelle, yeah. Little Clarabelle there. So, and of course, Clarabelle is still, you know, that I think a couple of sets ago, Clarabelle was one of those really scary cards to be up against, you know, with the absolute power of being able to draw so many cards at the end of your turn. And she's a big body on the board as well, but she's still proving herself. And there's the small Clarabelle, the one-drop Clarabelle, which normally is what we shift onto with the larger Clarabelle.
Now we're already starting to see the inkwells ramping up very, very fast, quite early in the turns here. And the way these decks work. Oh, we do see the Prince Philip getting inked. And there's the Cinderella you were talking about at the end of your turn. If you played a Princess Character this turn...
Ja, na klar, sogar das Haymaker-Matchup wird das sein. Halt wer mehr... Mehr, also Prince Philip Devastation auf das gegnerische Board verursacht, gewinnt.
You know, because, as you said before, the Sapphire just has that such powerful ink ramping ability where basically all the other ink colors don't. It's really been interesting seeing more of that kind of, you know, with like Webby, for example, Webby Vanderquack, who has that ability to help you get more ink. It's really interesting seeing that, you know, Emerald coming in with a bit of its own ink ramping to try and counteract that advantage that the Sapphire decks get. But we saw that Clarabelle shift there, so we've got her now on board, and it's going to be interesting. Let's see if we can see what Will has in hand.
Oh, that Hades and the Prince Philip. This is
ja, er hat die Fett zur Hand. Aber vor allem hat er die Clarabelle, die ist eigentlich das Geilste in diesem Matchup, weil Clarabelle Hoheit auch entscheidend sein kann. In dem Sinne, dass man damit ja Fett zieht und derjenige, der mehr zieht, wird dann wahrscheinlich auch mehr Prince Philip und so weiter haben.
On the board from Robert, that's going to help fill up the hand. We are going to see a Vision of the Future there, and then we get to see 5 cards come out. We can't quite see them. Robert, pull them back, Robert.
Pull them down.
Pull them down, Robert. It's fine. Don't worry. We'll instead go back to the overall game view.
Indeed.
Now, Vision. It's so interesting because there's Vision of the Future, Sail the Azurite Sea, and develop your mind, develop your brain. Yes, almost said develop your mind. So there's 3
Ist so ähnlich.
that are all, you know, inspect the cards that you've got, put them back, and then add some to hand.
Ja, mit der Clarabelle ist er auf jeden Fall schon gut am Drücker hier. Hat er noch einen You're Welcome sogar, einfach nur um sich greedy reinzuziehen auf die Cinderella? Ja klar, da kommt es.
Oh, we do see a You're Welcome come immediately in there.
Bounce that Cinderella to the deck and shuffle it, and then of course Will get to draw 2 cards.
Very, very useful though. Get rid of that Cinderella because Cinderella is such a resource ramp Oh, we see another you're welcome on the T-pose. So 2 usages.
My goodness.
Goodness me.
But unfortunately, giving Will that hand advantage, drawing 4 cards in the opponent's turn is pretty crazy. And we'll see if we can see what he's got in hand. He's got a lot now. He's got a Malicious, Mean and Scary, I think I saw there. So that's, and we already knew he had a Prince Philip in hand, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, Robert has managed to clear Will's board completely, but we're still very early in the game.
It's not over until Clarabelle and Cinderella sing, as the old idiom definitely goes. But we have seen 2 you're welcomes in a row from Robert, so that means if Robert is indeed running 4, which I assume Robert probably is, that's half of them gone already. We are seeing a Sail the Azurite Sea. Looks like that's going into the hand. Yep, and the rest of those are going back to the bottom of the deck. Are we going to see the Sail the Azurite Sea? Goodness me. I can see the sea.
It's very interesting seeing, because of course
seeing the sea, yeah.
Seeing them play a lot of the same cards, and especially with things like Visions of the Future and Develop Your Brain, looking at those cards, and they keep, they're really getting to cater their hands.
A third you're welcome.
Oh,
klar, ist super geil mit Clarabelle. Ich sag halt, die Clarabelle kann alles.
But he knows that's crazy that he got a third one.
Robert has been playing Moana on loop to be getting that many you're welcomes.
Wow. That's so much.
This is really useful for Robert to just keep that board presence there.
But of course now...
Bend to My Will coming down there as well.
Oh yeah, but of course now Will has such a huge hand advantage here, which just...
Beide haben voll die fette Hand, aber
really
außer dass Bend to My Will natürlich super der Blowout ist.
Wait, have we scooped?
I think I missed.
Bend to My Will direkt kein Bock mehr. Ist doch klar.
100% sure.
I was
trying to see what was in Will's hand.
I think it's because the Bend to My Will, it's that 7 cost uninkable. Each opponent discards all cards in their hand. I think Will was just put at a staggering disadvantage, and so Robert managed to claim that victory there very early on, I might say, in this. There's still 47 minutes on the timer.
I think Will
braucht man vielleicht auch in dem Matchup.
Thought, hey, no, this is a
Wenn man denkt, ich weiß nicht, ob ich das schon aufgegeben hätte, war meiner Meinung nach ein bisschen vorschnell.
I think sometimes that's better.
I agree.
Aber so hat man wenigstens auch genug Zeit. Also, I don't hate it. Aber ich hätte nicht gescoopt, glaube ich. Erst, wenn ich super defeated bin, gebe ich auf. Und nicht nur, weil ich keine Ahnung mehr habe, mein Gegner hat Clarabelle. Also da...
But sometimes it's just not quite there and you think, well, let's just move on to the next game. And that's, I think, what happened. I think you're right. Bend to My Will is rough.
That is brutal.
And I think especially in that situation, because Robert had played so many You're Welcomes and given Will so many extra cards, that's 6 cards that he got to draw from Robert. He had so many cards in his hand. So then, of course, making him discard them all is like...
That is pretty brutal. You're right. That's a really interesting combo. Doing not 1, not 2, but 3 You're Welcomes, and then going, oh, by the way, all that card advantage I gave you is totally pointless.
Yeah, it's crazy. That is really a wild play.
Now, already, that looks like, quite a few things to mulligan there. We do see the Basil, the Hades, and the Prince Philip all going in the mulligan. We see Robert taking 3 new cards there. But generally, not a bad hand to be starting with for the Emerald Sapphire. I don't think we can see what Will has.
No, he went very quickly there. Not even sure he mulliganed at all. Which, whenever you are against someone and they don't mulligan, they're like, I'm going to keep my hand. It's always a little bit scary because you think, oh no, you've gotten the perfect hand straight off the bat. What am I going to do?
Yes. Okay.
Ja, was? Play halt trotzdem ein Game.
No, darn. No. Robert, please.
Not for you.
I'd only just cut to you, Robert. Don't know why I cut away. It's all right. We're on this. Okay, so we are going to see Basil get inked and then Clarabelle go out. Pretty standard first turn there. Okay, here we see Clarabelle.
Also got Clarabelle's.
Prince Philip, Basil's. Donald Duck.
There's a sail in there. Sail the Azurite Sea.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on, and he's not sure which thing to go for. Deciding whether to ink that. He inked the Vanquisher of Foes, Prince Philip. understandable. It is a very high cost card to have in your starting hand. To get that Clarabelle down, and then obviously being able to shift the Clarabelle much earlier than he would be able to play the Prince Philip.
We have seen a malicious, mean and scary go into the Inkwell for Will, which means Will might not be relying on that classic combo, and then another Clarabelle comes down, a questful one from the Clarabelle from turn 1, and then a pass back to Robert.
It's always nice to get a little extra Clarabelle, because I think by this point, if you see a small Clarabelle go on board and you don't assume that they also have the big Clarabelle light on her hooves, then you're silly, because you should probably assume that they play it. So you want to probably get rid of that small Clarabelle as quickly as possible. So having that second Clarabelle, it's a nice little safety net for Will there.
We also just saw the Sail the Azurite Sea come down for Robert, which drew in to another Vanquisher of Foes, Prince Philip.
Interesting, and he's got that smaller Philip down, ready for the shift, potentially a bit later on.
This could be anyone's game, really, couldn't it? Because all it takes is to be building that dominant board and then to just get absolutely wiped by Malicious, Mean and Scary and Prince Philip combo.
Ja, diesen Prince Philip, der schon mal im Spiel zu haben, wird auf jeden Fall unterbinden, dass unendlich You're Welcome kommt und man gar keine Outs mehr hat. Wobei natürlich, wenn man nur Prinz Philip 3 hat und sonst nichts, dann ist es auch nicht so leicht, jetzt zu Top-Decken alles, was man braucht. Weil da fehlen dann noch 2 Sachen.
And you can't, obviously, You're Welcome against Prince Philip because it has ward.
Exactly. There are ways that you can deal damage to characters with ward, because there are certain things like Cheshire Cat, for example, the Amethyst Cheshire Cat. When you move damage counters, it does bypass ward, as far as I'm aware. Please tell me if I'm wrong. But if you're not playing cards that do that, it can be a little bit tricky.
That can't be right, because you have to choose.
No, with
it's move damage from chosen character.
Apologies, not Cheshire Cat. Which one am I thinking of? Oh, I was thinking of Malicious, Mean
yes,
Scary,
sorry,
which is completely different.
I was going to say, also in a totally different deck.
Yeah, apologies. No, that's completely my bad. I was more thinking about, the ones where it's not, it doesn't say
You're absolutely right.
Character,
you're bang on, because you're right, that is a cover all one.
My mistake. But yes, so something like Malicious, Mean and Scary, where it puts 1 damage counter on each opposing character. That
you are
bypasses
bang on
ward.
You are bang on there. You're right. It does bypass ward naturally. That is probably, to be fair, it is the only card in the deck, to my knowledge, that has ward on it.
I think so.
So generally, it's not really one you have to overcome particularly often. But also, right now, typically, by the time you have the ball presence, the ward is actually the least of your worries at that point. It's more the amount they've got on there. But we do keep seeing Will questing and questing and questing. So that's already a quest for 4 just in that single turn.
And he is making that Prince Philip vulnerable, of course, there. So, but we know that small Clarabelle cannot get rid of the Prince Philip, because she is only a 1 strength against Prince Philip's 2 willpower. So I understand, I think Will was happy to take that potential risk, because knowing that it's not very likely that Robert would be able to challenge into the Prince Philip straight off the bat there. So an understandable choice there, questing to get that 2 lore.
That is true. And now Robert taking a lot of moments just to think about this. We do see the Judy Hops get inked for a Donald Duck.
Yes. Interesting there.
Now that's not, I actually haven't seen many people utilize that in this current build.
No, I haven't.
Ja, man sieht ihn doch schon mal noch hier und da, diesen Donald Duck. Ist nicht so super common, aber...
It is the focused Flatfoot, I believe.
Yes.
When you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exerted. So, of course, another ink ramping card there, but it's a much later game one, because it is a 5 ink cost. But that's because he has a 3/4 stat line and quests for 2 lore. So he is a very powerful card alongside having that powerful ability of getting extra ink.
I guess when you say it's a late game one, I suppose one of the beauties of Sapphire is late game is kind of early game, because you can just keep ramping with your T-Pose and Sail the Azurite Seas. You can get to 5 very fast with the right cards out, actually. And then, the second you play it, that's also there with a good stat line, questing for 2, and also you immediately get more ink. So it's just a resource ramp again.
That is very true.
And you see that Cinderella there, which I love the art, and also love the full art one as well. Goodness, it
absolutely
looks so nice.
Stunning, truly. I was saying to Steve earlier, you know, the artwork in Disney Lorcana cannot be understated. It is just, you know, so many talented artists, and these cards are beautiful.
You see a Basil come down there, another one that quests for 2, which is very useful.
Yep, it is the shift Basil, but of course didn't have another Basil to shift onto, so did a hard play there.
So this is, shift 4, and then this is during your turn. Whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you may pay 1 ink to have a chosen opponent choose and discard a card. So actually, with the amount that you're adding to the inkwell, having that on the board is very, very useful to then deprive another Sapphire deck of resources.
Absolutely, and one of the few cards left in the game after set rotation, I think, that does discard your opponent's hand, because we had a lot with set rotation being introduced. We had a lot of those discard cards go out of rotation, like the Emerald Diablo that of course everyone loved so much. So you know, so that kind of, you know, there was a time where that discard deck was very, very at the top in the meta.
Remember Bucky, Jen?
Oh, I do. Bucky was sweet.
Free errata Bucky.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Still have some somewhere.
Wow, Donald Duck musste fett dran glauben. Aber na klar.
Yeah, so that discard. Obviously we have some more. You know, I think there's a few more discard cards that have been introduced in set 10, but it definitely is much less prominent, of course, since the set rotation.
That is true. Now, taking a quick look at what's been going on the board, Will has managed to ramp up to 13 lore. Robert in not such a good position. However, with that Basil, if we start seeing some more inkwell stuff, yeah, there we go. The Basil's already going to start discarding things.
And so he had a Spooky Sight in hand, which is another new card, which I think has been very interesting in the meta. It is a 6-cost uninkable, which is a bit rough, but it puts all characters with cost 3 or less into their players' Inkwells face down.
Ja, ist in diesem Matchup halt eher so Crap. Ist generell schon eine interessante Karte, aber hier macht die eher nichts.
If you're playing against, you know, especially an aggro deck, where a lot of those cards are a lower ink cost, they're all going.
It's a good way of it's a good board coverage one. You're right for those, low cost, more aggro-y build decks. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Not so useful in this mirror match, however.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, especially at this point in the game. You know, Robert only has 6 and 7 ink cost cards on the board, so that Spooky Sight wasn't particularly useful at this point anyway. But in another situation, that discard could have been quite painful. But he has got his Clarabelle there and 2 Cinderellas, and he's just played a Malicious, Mean and Scary to put damage counter each on Clarabelle and Basil.
That just sets you up for next turn, or in the next couple of turns if you do want to bring out that Prince Philip and just completely wipe them all.
Ja, wenn Prinz Philip jetzt kommt, dann...
When they have a huge board, because that is a devastating board wipe.
Jetzt allerdings könnte man natürlich gleich schon mal so reinhauen in die Clarabelle. Präventiv, damit man davon gleich nicht so blown out ist. Man würde natürlich seine eigene Clarabelle auch nicht so super gerne aufgeben.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, it would be cool to see that Prince Philip come down in this moment, because of course that's a combination that's been a big talk recently, but we haven't actually seen it yet. We haven't seen the full combo happen. We've seen both the cards around so far today.
Did we not see that in our first game? Have we just been fantasizing about it happening? And
I don't think so. I think we were excited for it to protect. Or maybe it did. Maybe my memory is. And there's another Malicious, Mean and Scary from Robert there.
There it is. There's the exact combo that you were just saying. We haven't seen. If we had seen it, we apologise. But we've seen it now, and we can guarantee that we've
definitely seen it.
Which actually, for Robert, being as on the back foot as Robert is, really, really solid.
Yes.
Now, Will, we can see Will does have some cards in hand. Although, wait a sec, we did just see Will doing the Prince Philip as well.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Now we have a Prince Philip off.
And got rid of course, he had previously put that damage on Robert's other cards, the Clarabelle and the Basil, so they, of course, immediately have gone to the discard. So, wow. They Malicious Meanings Garried and Prince Philip each other back to back.
Ja, ich sag ja. Haymaker-Game.
Now we see the Judy Hops come down.
Genau so geht's.
Now this is a card that I don't think I've really played an awful lot in this deck.
I have not either.
So they can tell you that this is the Judy Hops from set 10. This is when you play this character and whenever she quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a detective character card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the
Ah, was? Da spielt er tatsächlich die aus?
Judy Hops uncovering
Holy shit!
useful if you want to get into
Detective card!
Because that Donald Duck is very, very useful just to have.
Aber wen findet denn damit? Dieser Donald Duck ist Detective.
Reasonably good.
Aber wie viele Detectives hat er denn noch?
More inkwell.
Definitely, and of course with the kind of background with Whispers in the Well, the lore behind Whispers in the Well is a lot of detective. Oh my goodness.
So we saw the quest with Prince Philip for 3, which is going to put him to 19.
Aber dann leider direkt Hades, na klar.
The Hades come down, which obviously has to put that card away. It's a really good removal card, that Hades. It is one you don't want to see it come down,
You really don't. I was just about to say exactly that.
Robert has scooped.
Scary. Wow.
Will has taken that second game, so we're going into a game 3, and we still have 33 minutes on the timer.
Wow.
So that means we're going to see a nice fleshed out game 3.
Absolutely.
Some of the other game 3s we've seen today have been a little bit rushed.
Yeah, previous round they only had 13 minutes left on the timer when they went into round 3, and you could see they really picked up the pace in that game, and it was very interesting. But I was saying about, you know, that we were looking at that Judy, and she obviously helps with getting detectives, and that's been a really. I played the starter deck.
Aber welche Detective ist es denn dann? Weil so Clarabelle ist ja kein Detective, Prince Philip ist kein Detective. Es ist halt Donald Duck 5 Drop ein Detective. Aber selbst wenn du 4 Judy, 4 Donald Duck, dann hast du halt so 8 Detective. Da hättet die Judy doch auch. Nee, ich verstehe es irgendwie nicht. Ah ne, Basil ist Detective. Oh yeah, Basil. Basil ist Detective. Stimmt. Nee, nevermind. Oh wow, okay. Er könnte tatsächlich voll viele haben, wenn er so Basil 1 Drop und so komplette Shiftline, 1 Drop, 6 Drop und 7 Drop in seinem Deck auch noch hat. Und dann Donald Duck und diese Judy. Okay. Ah, Detective Subtheme. Interessant. Interessant. Bin ich ja sofort für diesen Robert Foster. 1-1 jetzt. Sie haben zum Glück noch fett halbe Stunde. Da sollte das eigentlich kein Problem sein.
So. We have seen a lot of mirror matches, which, by the way, for those of you worrying, completely unintentional.
It really is unintentional, not deliberate at all. It's just how it's happened to be, I think.
But it's a great way of seeing the display of skill from our Illumineers here, because when you're having to play against a deck that operates very similarly, you really have to think on this extra level. And it means you have to really understand your deck and its strengths and its weaknesses, and to be able to exploit that to the best of your ability against your opponent. But also for us, and for you watching at home, if you aren't familiar with the decks, just a really good way of learning about them.
Ja, total. Also wenn ihr die Decks nicht kennt, dann guckt diesen Stream und dann danach werden diese Decks euch mehr bekannt sein, auf jeden Fall. Da hat der Kommentator auch vollkommen recht. Aber wir lernen jetzt vor allem, dass man Detective Subtheme einbauen könnte in seine Emerald Sapphire. Ist ja spektakulär. Ich dachte, Emerald Sapphire wäre super boring und gar kein Spice. Aber dann anscheinend doch relativ viel Spice noch ist possible. Und finde ich ja cool, dass die Leute mal was probieren. Weil, ey, wenn du genau das gleiche Deck baust wie jemand anderes, was wird denn dann sein? Du wirst dann so geil spielen, dass alle dagegen keine Chance haben? Vielleicht, ne? Aber die andere Hypothese ist so, vielleicht baue ich mal ein bisschen ein anderes Deck. Wenn man denkt, das kann man auch, ja, weil, vielleicht so eine philosophische Sache, ob man eher der Spieler ist oder eher der Deckbauer. Ich persönlich bin ja eher Bauer, so, ne? Ich baue gerne Decks, ich baue richtig gerne. Jeder hat schon mal gespielt. Aber ich bin kein chronischer Spieler.
The same move we've seen for the last 2 games. The Clarabelle coming out first. Robert, we're going to see an ink and then into a T-Po, I'd imagine.
Exactly.
I have spotted that in hand.
And you can just see he just threw that 1-drop Clarabelle. Unfortunately, a turn too late. So that's always a bit rough. You don't get a 1-drop and then your second turn starts, you draw a 1-drop. It's like, well, there it is, you know.
That is true.
Never feels that great. But hopefully he'll be able to bring it back from a bit of a sketchy start here. He's trying to decide, and he did. He went for the Sail the Azurite Sea to get that draw.
But that's also good because he can just keep inking off the back of that. And if he... Oh, I thought he'd play the T-Bow unless he has 2 T-Bows. No, we're going to do the Clarabelle. Interesting.
Each the T-Bow, played the Clarabelle, which I understand because I think, you know, he's obviously hoping he can get that shift Clarabelle in hand. And then we're seeing another Sail the Azurite Sea here from Will to get, again, the draw and the ink. And debating inking, you're welcome. Understandable. And he's playing another Clarabelle, which is exactly what we saw him do in the previous game. He had those 2 1-drop Clarabelles on board, and we are here again.
Getting some consistent draws, Will.
Yeah.
And now we see another Sail the Azurite Sea for Robert.
Interesting. And I think he drew into another Sail the Azurite Sea,
I think. Of the future.
Oh, I couldn't quite see.
Ja, aber vor allem hat erstmal noch Basil.
On the edge of our screen, it's sometimes a little hard to
Basil.
Yeah. But there we see a Basil getting
Basilikum auf gut Deutsch.
So now we see the 5 cards. Let's see if we can get into the hand here.
Sehen wir wirklich die 5 Karten? Oh ja, es ist true. Malicious Marine Scary ist dabei. Was hat er denn so? Er hat aber noch keinen 9-Drop. Oh, er hätte gerne so You're Welcome irgendwie. Um dann mit Clarabelle und Bend to My Will abzugehen auf jeden Fall. Ja, fascinating sein Deck, was er nicht alles da drin hat. Ich frage mich, was er gecuttet hat.
They're all pretty equal. This is a tough one.
Malicious Marine Scary.
He's wondering about whether to
2 visions there, yeah. I guess, and there's an Under the Sea there and a Prince Philip. I think Under the Sea, we're quite far from being able to play that. It is quite a high ink cost, but wow, is it a powerful card.
I'm also surprised we haven't seen many Cursed Merfolk in these builds. Those are ones that I tended to see.
I agree. I think it is interesting actually, because that's also one of my favorite cards. I really love that card, and I think it is very powerful. But you're right. We haven't seen one today.
It's really amazing early game. If you can get 2 of those out in your first 2 turns, by turn 3 you have so much lore ahead of your opponent if they can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I think because we've gotten so many new powerful cards in this set, it's just been, you know, just nudged out a little bit of the current meta.
That's true. We see that Cinderella come down, which is obviously going to be a very important
It's like
card.
deja vu.
I know. It is like we've been rewound a bit. Are you sure this stream's live? At the end of your turn, if you played a princess character this turn, you may put a card in your hand with your finger on your card.
Interested to see if he has any princesses. We haven't seen many.
No.
Apart from Cinderella herself.
That is true. We do see that bezel. And the Clarabelle light on her hoot. And now we get straight back in to Will's turn there, drawing for turn. Let's see if we can have a zoom in and see what is in the hand. Oh, never mind. We just missed a play there.
Oh,
so that
there he's just fanned them out again as we move back.
Sail the Azurite Sea. That Donald Duck is therefore getting inked. As is a Basil, and therefore comes out another Cinderella, and then we're already going to see that very nice effect there of Cinderella.
Absolutely. So he will be able to, and he is on so much ink right now. It is crazy.
Yes, this is the beauty of Sapphire decks, as we've said many times, is the resource gathering is just exquisite.
Absolutely, and in comparison, actually, it's interesting to see that Robert, I think, only has 6 ink at this point against Will's 9, I believe. But I think it'd be interesting to see what he decides to do here. They're always thinking, because he's got
another Basil and the 7 uninkable.
I think it might be.
So we're seeing the Basil getting inked. Oh, wait a second, he's hesitating. Under the Season 8 cast. Oh, is it Scary Sights? Or whatever it's called, sorry.
Spooky Sights?
Spooky Sights. I keep calling it Scary Sights. No, it's Bend to My Will.
Ah,
which we saw in the last round.
Yeah, I was going to say Spooky Sight is 6 uninkable, so. Yeah, crazy.
There it is, Bend to My Will.
Oh.
So that's Oh,
So
that
he
was
only
a,
had
that was a
a
develop your
developer
brain.
brain in hand.
So not the best hit for that.
But I think it's a tricky situation for both of them. I believe they now both... I think Robert has 2 cards in hand, but Will has none now, of course. So, you know, it is a tricky situation. He's questing there and playing the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes, I believe. But unfortunately didn't get its ability going.
We do see the Hades in hand for Robert there, which is pretty useful because you could, with 7 there, immediately use that, get rid of the big Prince Philip into the Inkwell. Sure, it's more resources, but you get rid of a huge body on the board that not only has a 6/6 stat line, but quests for 3.
And
Klar,
at this point as
ist
well,
immer so
you
super.
know,
Aber was jetzt?
this much ink as Will does, like, yes, it's useful, but he's now, unfortunately, he's got no hand advantage whatsoever. So, you know,
Hat vor allem no hand whatsoever. Nicht nur hat keinen hand advantage.
In this situation is not always that useful. So giving him that extra ink is really not too much of a concern, I think.
Oh, this ink can know how to drive. Yeah, kind of feels exactly like that. So we have to see exactly what gets drawn in here. What's that card Robert's got? Let's see if we can have a quick gander. A goose. Darn it.
He put it down immediately.
It's like he knew.
Super geil, genau als sie umschalten sollten. Nein, leider, jetzt zeig's schon.
We saw the Clarabelle trade into the Clarabelle there. And then Cinderella going for a quick quest.
Little questy quest.
Little questy quest. Okay,
right,
Robert.
see if we can see what he's got there.
Was ein Top-Deck-War.
And move your wrist, Robert.
It might have been a... It was a blue card, I think.
It
a
certainly
sapphire
was a
card,
sapphire
I think.
card. Oh.
Is that a back?
It's
a Donald Duck.
Oh, actually, that's quite
yes.
useful right now.
Yeah.
Is it 3/4 Body?
Okay.
Aber ja, gibt Schlimmeres.
Stat line to have. That's just four questing on board and not bad stats. Oh, we're seeing a malicious, mean, and scary. That is going to take out the Clarabelle, and then Hades is going to get rid of that Cinderella with the challenge there. It's only a little bit of damage on the Hades. It's nothing too bad, but actually it means going forward. Oh, we see the Hades come down to get rid of the Hades.
Oh, wow.
Materialschlacht. Ich sagte, die Haymaker back and forth. Aber erstaunlich, wie viel Will noch im Game ist, obwohl Robert ihm doch so Benton Will reingedrückt hat. Ich habe leider nicht mitbekommen. Oh, jetzt Judy Hobbs Action. Wird was gefunden. Ja, Basil.
It's a Hades hoedown. Okay, we see Basil coming in. Just keeping an eye.
Jetzt kannst du Basil auf Judy Hobbs rauscasten, um so noch mehr Judy Hobbs zu casten. Auf mehr Basil, super Infinite Loop.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, that was the Basil he chose to put in his hand, had to reveal it.
Oh, I see.
So it'd be interesting. Again, we're on this kind of top decking situation. We got a dig a little deeper. So getting to look at the cards
Crazy.
on top of the deck again.
What a rip.
And see what he's got. Put something in hand, I believe.
Yeah, you get to put 2 into your hand, and then the rest go to the bottom of your deck in any order.
So trying to fish for some good stuff there.
I guess that's probably the best you can ask for at this point when you don't have the hand advantage.
It's a really tricky situation, and I see what he's picking up here.
This is Vision of the Future. What do you do here? Do you keep the Prince Philip? Yep, keeping the Prince Philip. The rest can all go hang.
It is a tricky situation.
Although it's not the best board to be trying to do that against, but he does have 9 ink as well. So that means Will can just easily throw that out there, but combined with Malicious, Mean, and Scary, which isn't, I didn't see that in hand for Will. Can we have a quick look and see what's in Will's hand? Oh, there is a Malicious, Mean, and Scary in Will's hand.
Oh,
and the Prince Philip. That's actually really
good.
Solid hand for Will. And
Tja, no shit. Aber ob das jetzt schon ausgezwirbelt wird auf diese beiden Charakter, ich glaube ja noch nicht unbedingt. Aber dann wiederum diese Judy Hobbs sollte man jetzt schon mal wegmachen. Sonst wird die ja wahrscheinlich doch gleich noch mehr Kartenvorteil generieren potenziell.
Yeah, currently trying to decide which card is going to go into his hand. See, I can't see. Oh, another Judy Hobbs. Okay, so he's putting the other Judy detective into his hand, and then playing
to do the exact
Judy.
same thing.
because of course she is a when she's played and when she quests, you get to do that ability. So
we see a Basil. The
very nice
7-cost Basil, which actually quite a nice card.
It is. It was James's card reveal. James, who
Oh,
we
was
saw
it?
earlier on the feature table in round 1. That was his card reveal in the previous set.
That's the 7-cost Basil, is it not?
6.
The 6. Well, it was the one.
Der da
Look at the one he's
ist der
just
6-Drop, ja.
So there's 2 Basils happening here.
Wow, diese Julie Hobbs gehen super ab. Aber jetzt kommt finally die Combo. Tja. Oh.
Whenever this character quests, shows an opponent discards a card at random.
Da ist der Gegner jetzt natürlich ordentlich behind. Da hat er Angst vor gehabt.
Well, the one that we've just seen come down is Basil Disguised Detective. Although that is no longer a problem, thanks to that Prince Philip.
Exactly. We had that play there. Got rid of Robert's entire board. He's actually done quite a good job of building it back up again, and because also, unfortunately, Will doesn't have much board presence right now. Just got that lone Hades left now, currently playing a Visions of the Future to try and get some more cards in hand.
See if we can have a look at what's been drawn there. A spooky sight.
Another Donald, another Hades, another Donald's, 2 Donalds there, and I think You're Welcome.
That
I
is
think
a You're
it is.
Welcome.
Yep.
That looks like. Oh no, they're hesitating.
Debating Hades,
The
You're
extra
Welcome.
Hades is always good, and at this point in the game, it's not a worry for Ink.
Absolutely not
You've
going
got
for that Hades.
plenty of resources.
Exactly, and of course with the You're Welcome, you're giving them that draw 2 cards. You're giving them that hand advantage, which at this point you don't want to give. You'd rather give them the extra ink, I think, and have a body on board.
We see a You're Welcome and a Sell the Azurite Sea in Robert's hand right now. So we're going to see that Sell the Azurite Sea draw into... What else did you draw into? No! No, Robert, please!
Every time.
Every time I try to switch back, you always put the card down. It's like it's deliberate. Here we go.
Man kriegt's einfach nicht zu sehen.
Please.
Prince Philip.
Is
and
it?
Something else.
Oh, and
You're Welcome. Yep.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Now we can go back to this view.
Again, as I was saying, you don't want to give them that hand advantage by giving them the draw with the You're Welcome, especially at this point. We're in such a tight situation, I think, for both of them. It's a really, really, really tough one. We're looking at the discard there. Robert's looking at Will's discard. See what's going on, see how many of things he's played. Debating what to do.
Reese was talking about this earlier in our interview at the end of the last round, that it's just one of those things where looking through the discard and memorizing what's in there in the mirror match is a huge tell and a huge advantage. And as well, if you can remember what's in the inkwell.
Yes,
because then
absolutely.
You're just sorted. Now we do see that Prince Philip come down and remove one of those Hades. And actually, I think we've seen quite a lot of the Hades being played right now, which I think is what Robert was looking for. Robert was going through those discards, seeing how many Hades were in there, because that means that it's going to be harder to remove the Prince Philip without a Malicious, Mean and Scary and a Prince Philip combo.
Definitely. We have seen quite a lot of Hades so far in this game, so I think you're right. It's trying, and we can see on Will's discard there, he has one right there, he's got one on the board, and I'm pretty sure there's another one that's already in his discard.
There's at least one more in that discard, yeah.
And you don't ever really know, because I think he is a high cost uninkable card. Not everyone is necessarily going to want to play for Hades.
Oh, and then we see the Basil come down, and then it immediately sends the... Well, hang on. I thought Basil was meant to send a card back to the hand. Did I miss something?
When you play this character, you may return...
Auch die Tier-Matchup in dem Sinne, dass wir hier so gar nichts lernen.
Whenever this character quest chosen opponent discards a card. So I think it's just because he had his hand by his ink, so it maybe looked... yeah, so he's returned the Hades to his hand.
Oh.
Very good play there, because of course then he can play that Hades again and get rid of Robert's Prince Philip.
Which actually right now we're going to see a quest with it, which is going to put up to an 8. So Robert closing the gap quite well.
Yeah, really utilising that Basil undercover detective there from Will. Really utilising that ability to...
Oh,
get
interesting.
the Hades.
We saw a You're Welcome.
He played it on himself.
On himself. It's shuffling it back into the deck, so that will come back later, but then also getting to draw 2 cards for that extra resource. Now, what
I
did
think
he draw
an
into?
understandable decision, to be honest.
Tipo, a malicious, mean and scary, and a Donald Duck.
Okay. I guess, you know, it's trying to fish, isn't it? Trying to fish for those cards that you need in this tricky situation. I completely understand. I have played a You're Welcome on one of my own cards before. Sometimes it has to be done.
It does, you're absolutely right. And it's interesting, this has been such a slow, methodical game 3. I didn't realise 15 minutes had already gone by.
Oh my goodness.
And we're not even Will is halfway in the lore counter, but you know, we all know how these things go. All it takes
Ja, aber es ist Game 3, die brauchen sich nicht so super viel Sorgen zu machen, die haben noch massig Zeit.
Wrap, and it will be over in a couple of turns at that point. But it's all to play for at this point.
Absolutely.
There's
so there's the Hades. We've got a
Talk about.
Clarabelle, Prince Philip, and he's doing a Visions of the Future to try and see what else he can get. Maybe he's looking for a Malicious, Mean and Scary, or
Another Prince Philip. Was that malicious?
that was
mean
a
and
Malicious,
scary?
Mean and Scary.
Yep.
Because I think he has that Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes in
Ooh.
hand, perhaps. He's playing the Hades. Get rid of that Donald or Scrooge, whichever one it was. And now it's gone, so I don't know.
It was Donald Duck, I think, wasn't it?
It was
I don't think we've
either
seen
Donald
a
or
Scrooge
Scrooge.
Duck, have we?
I'm not sure.
It was the focused Flatfoot. Yeah, no, it was definitely focused Flatfoot. You were right, don't worry. You second guessed yourself
Second-guessing myself.
with Scrooge McDuck, which I don't believe we've seen.
Oh, and there it is.
Oh,
and
that
there it
looks like
is.
Will has he's taken the win there.
Wow.
Robert extended the fist bump.
Wow, wie er sich 20 Lore gemacht hat, hatte keiner kommen sehen.
Pointed out he